later. So welcome, everybody. We are so pleased that you are here with us today for our first quarterly meeting. And we're really excited to be able to have you meet some people in our Mesa family that support us to support you. So in case you may not know, my name is Annie Spear, and I am one of the Early Literacy Professional Learning Coordinators for MAISA. And if you were at the the new coach kickoff recently, we talked about what it is our pleasure to serve you with. And it's my pleasure to have a chance to work with all of you and know how hard you're working in leading literacy and bringing research to the forefront so we can bring joy and happiness to kids and help both teachers and kids feel efficacious in their learning journey. And so I am here for you this year for whatever it is that you need that I may be able to help you with to make your job feel a little bit lighter, because you have a really huge role in wherever you are in your districts and for our whole state. And I'm going to turn things over to Susan Townsend, who I think is on the call already. Is Susan here yet?
Yes, I am, Annie. Thank you.
She is. Okay. Hi, Susan. I'll turn things over to you to introduce yourself.
Great. Good morning, everyone. It's so exciting to be able to stop and say hello to all of you. And I just want to, I'm the Literacy Project Director for MAISA and the Early Literacy Task Force co-chair. And I just want to thank you for all the work you do around supporting our educators and our children around Michigan in the area of literacy around this important work. You are our gateway, and I know it's intensive work, and I just want to thank you. And I also want to let everyone know that I may be the director, but I love being involved. But I also realize that Annie, Aaron, and Lisa are the heart of this whole network and supporting you as well, and with everything you do. So thanks for being a part of our statewide team. We couldn't do this work unless we do it collectively. So thank you. Have a great day. I'll be popping in and out. I'm going to pass it off to Mike Yoakum.
Morning, everyone. I was listening to that music that Annie put on, and I really wanted to start dancing. And trust me, it takes a lot to get me to want to dance. So great way to kick off the day. I'm recently retired from Oakland Schools, where I was the assistant superintendent for educational services. One of the best days I had last year was in the spring when we brought all our coaches from across the county together to Oakland Schools. I spent the day with the coaches. It was a incredibly uplifting day and experience, listening to their stories and the work they had been doing. Now I'm the director of the General Education Leadership Network. And the General Education Leadership Network, in case you're not aware, are the people at the 56 ISDs who are responsible for general education programming. And we come together once a month, but we also have a number of task forces. And one of those task forces is the Early Literacy Task Force that is chaired by Susan and Sean LaRosa at Livingston ISD. So that's going to give me the chance to work really closely with the task force and with other work around the grant that is going forward in early literacy, and really connect with the work you're doing every day. And I thank you for that. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Teddy.
Thanks, Michael. Good morning, everyone. My name is Teddy Simmons. I spent the last 20 years in a local district and admin before joining the team here in the role of professional learning grant systems coordinator. So what this means is I'll be working with grant teams to support the development of budgets and grant activities and monitoring systems. So the coordination of grant projects, as well as the support and strengthening our education, our evaluation and data collection systems and activities. So I'm excited to begin supporting and collaborating with all of you to support what your needs might be, but also as we support the children and educators that we serve. So happy to be here.
Hi, I am Angie Kinney, and I am the administrative assistant for grant services. Right now, my focus is invoices and grant reporting at the end of the month. And whatever the literacy team needs from me, whether that's spending a day with Susan in a room full of books or helping with contracts or anything like that. And I am very honored to be working behind the scenes to support your cause and your passion. And I'm going to send it over to Alyssa.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Alyssa, and I'm actually my third day into the role as event coordinator. I basically am going to work between both the literacy and math grants to put on those events throughout the year. And I'm really excited to work for anybody that needs support from me.
Wow, thank you so much, MAISA colleagues. That was really supportive for us to be able to put names and faces to all of the things that do happen behind the scenes, and all representative of the vision that we collectively have at Mesa to support the networks that we're honored to serve. Thank you each for being here. We know some of you will be popping in and out, and that's exciting. We know Dr. John Severson, our director at MAISA, is also going to be popping in today. And we know that many people have many things that they're doing. So thank you very much for being here. It's so supportive to the coaching network. My name is Erin Brown. I'm one of the early literacy professional learning coordinators here at MAISA. I am part-time. I'm on loan from Muskegon Area ISD ELA consultant there. I work about 4 days a week for Mesa and 1 day a week for Muskegon. And it truly, just to echo the team's words, it is absolutely a joy to be able to coordinate things like days like today, lift the voices of coaches and teachers, learn more from researchers, and provide opportunities, even in an unusual Zoom space, for you to be able to be with each other. And in that spirit, we know that many of you are in a lot of different settings today. Some teams are gathered in the same room, or maybe you're gathered with a couple colleagues from your team. And if that's the case, then we have included in the email beforehand and at the top of our agenda today, directions that will really support your learning in the same space, even though you have this Zoom coming at you with the content and the processes. So we're going to take a look at the agenda, kind of turn our attention there, and then we'll hear from some colleagues right here in Michigan to kick us off. So let me share our agenda and orient ourselves to that today. So right at the top of our agenda, we see 2 Zoom details. If you just got into our meeting today and you're just catching up to this, no worries. But it's really helpful to manage your computer audio if you're in the same space. And thank you for those of you who might be in the same room physically with other people, and you can look right in their eyes and talk today, and also being present on the Zoom with your own device, because that helps you to have access to the chat. Sometimes our chat gets hopping with lots of resources and ideas. I know it will be today. There are different times we'll definitely be doing that. For other reasons, you might just want to have access to your own computer and be on the Zoom as well. But then it gets a little bit fancy around how to assure that you're not getting that audio feedback. And it can be as simple as just going down to the bottom left corner of your Zoom screen, clicking the little arrow by that microphone button and clicking leave computer audio. That's the same place you can join computer audio again if you want to speak. Otherwise, one computer on in the room with the volume up can probably be enough for you to all hear. This is an important one, number 2, and I'm just going to pull our attention to it. I know that you read this already. You got this agenda, you read these notes, but for anyone who is in a room with someone else participating together in this day, please put the letter G in front of your name. That indicates to us that you're already with a group in a room. And then when we create breakouts, we won't put you into a breakout, because when we have breakouts, you'll be able to turn and talk, or a couple of times today, we'll say it'll be helpful to get into a group of 3 or so on, based on what the collaboration is. So when we do that, those of you who are in a room together will be able to just huddle up and do that. Those of us who are on Zoom and not with other colleagues, we will put you in those breakouts, so you'll have that collaboration time there. And then it's supportive if you can put the acronym of your ISD, RISA, ESA, or ESD after your name. And so that's really important. And to rename yourself, you can go to your box on your screen right now and go to the little 3 dots up in the right corner of your box, or you can follow these directions here at the top. All right, please sign in if you have not done that yet by clicking on the electronic sign in. It's simple. You just add your name, you click on your ISD or RISA or other. We do use closed captioning here to support all of our access to the conversation. There's a way for you to take a look at that. We are going to hear pretty soon from some of our colleagues, and then we're going to be learning some current research around literacy coaching from Dr. Lallier. If you remember, if you were with us in August at our Advanced Annual Institute, Dr. Nell Duke and Dr. Tanya Wright got portions of time where they were able to share new research or highlight important research and studies. And today we're continuing that, and Dr. Lallier will be able to do that, highlighting things that we should have our eyes toward regarding research in literacy coaching. It's always important for us to stay up to date with what's hot and important for us. After break, we're going to dig a little deeper into a book that we referenced a couple times now together that everyone is getting, and we're going to be able to access that a little bit. Thank you, Annie and Dr. Lallier, for helping us step into that, and to all who gave feedback on that as we collaborated. After lunch, which is 11:45 to 12:30, Dr. Lallier will help us do some reflective work personally around our coaching and offer some ideas for our planning ahead to help us focus. We addressed some of the barriers in August, barriers to focus when we're a coach, barriers to intentional coaching, and she's going to walk us through some processes that we might appreciate throughout this year to help us reflect and help us process and help us plan around our focus. We have time with Dr. Nell Duke this afternoon, a big chunk of time, and we've been collecting the questions that were posed at the Kickoff Institute a couple weeks ago, questions that were posed in August, and other questions that Nell's been receiving from the field in general. And we have a nice long time with her around literacy research, answering some hot topics and questions. We don't have, if you've been a part of our work, we don't have that typical team time when we were only on Zoom, where at the end of the day, you would have team time to reflect on the whole day. But we don't, because of a lot of great feedback from coordinators who talked about how you have other times that you are connecting with teams. And so our hope today is that the pace of everything we do together feels peaceful, feels supportive to your personal learning and reflecting. There'll be times where you'll be able to just take a breath and think for yourself, even if you're in a room, and jot what you're thinking and have that time. And then with other cushions of time, you'll be in conversation, however that works for you and for whatever you need. So hopefully that kind of allows for reflection throughout the pieces of content today. And then we need your feedback. We really need your feedback to know how this pace and this agenda worked for you, as we're kind of in this hybrid world right now, this fall in our quarterly meetings, this October and December and February. In May, we're hoping to have some options for being all together, and we're working on that right now. But for these, we're kind of like, still offering the Zoom, and you might be together in a room. So we just really want to acknowledge all of your realities and support your processing and collaboration. Collaboration is always so important.
Now,
By lunch, you will see more detail in the landing document for tomorrow. All right. We put in the link to the agenda that is the published web version of the agenda. With so many people in a Google Doc, it gets kind of slow. So you might choose, Annie, would you mind copying that welcome message? Thank you, and putting it in the chat again. You might choose to be accessing the agenda from that published version because it won't be slowed down by the number of people in the original. It updates every 5 minutes. So if we're popping links in live, you might not see them right away, but you'll see them within a minute or two. Okay. When we move to breakouts, last thing, for those who are on Zoom, not in a group, and will be in a group for breakouts, what we do is we pre-populate those. And then when we push go on breakouts, we then take anybody else who didn't get populated and we put them in. It would be really helpful for you, if you're not seeing the invite, to put your name in the chat, because there'll be many of us making sure that you get into your breakouts. And that would be so helpful to see your name and say, I'm not in a breakout, and we'll solve it that way. And then we look and say, oh, we invited 4 in, but there's only 1. Let me move you to somewhere else. So that always just takes a couple minutes. And that idea of putting your name in the chat would be really supportive for us so that we can get you where you need to go as quickly as possible. We hope you feel how much we've thought about you before today. And it's just one day, and we'll do our best. And we will take your reflection to heart and make this even better for December.